and they gave their testimonies. And it was just a beautiful, glorious time in the meeting. So, in asking God, what would you have for me to preach, bring, teach, minister to your people on the first Sunday of the year? He led me to talk about testimony. Led me to researching and looking up scriptures related to testimony and why testimony was necessary. And in my research, I was led right back to Revelation, the 12th chapter of Revelation. And again, we're in verse 11 where it says, and they overcame him by the blood of the Lamb and by the word of their testimony. And they loved not their lives unto death. So I'm thinking about the testimony. And I'm reviewing the year in my mind and where God took us from the beginning of 2018 through the end of 2018. And I'm thinking about reviewing all the messages that were preached throughout the year. And I was like, Lord, it was like you took Corinne through detox.
Oh.
You're taking Corinne through detox. You're showing us how to empty out all of the nasty and the ugly stuff that's cluttering our souls, that's been stopping us from being able to hear you and receive you. And I was like, we went through detox so that we can get to the last Sunday of the year and have 4 or 5 women that hadn't spoke before the Lord before come up. And despite their fear and insecurities, get up and boldly be able to testify before the Lord. Boldly be able to pray before the Lord. And it was only because they had went through that detoxification. And I'm like, Lord, well, what do you have for us in 2019? God says, well, this year for Corinne is the year of restoration.
All right. That's Lord.
The year of restoration. See, I'm not a numbers person. That my husband will get up and he probably next week will preach to y'all and tell y'all what each number signifies. But I'm telling you what God told me for Corinne, that this is the year of restoration. But now it's time for you to be restored. You've been broken down so that God can build you up. You've been told of what all you used to be. You've been told of all that you could become so that you can become that thing, so that you can be restored in it. And so again, I was led to Revelations to this. So Revelations, as we know, was written by John, the disciple, not St. John. And in Revelations, John is having this. Some people might say it was a vision. Some people might say it was a dream. But what it was what was and what is to come being revealed to John right there. It was just that revelation. It was clear to John. He could smell it. He could see it. He could taste it. He could touch it. That's how clear this vision was to God, to John. It was God revealing who he was to John so that he could write down and tell us about it. It was more than just deja vu. And you know why he could do it? Why he could be in the past? Why he could be in the future? Why he could be where he was? It was only because he was seeing it in the spirit. See, all revelation happened while John was caught up in the spirit of God. See, you want to know why you feel helpless. You want to know why you feel hopeless. It's because we keep on looking at things in the natural. But if you just tap into the spiritual, if you just tap into the spiritual, you can see the God that was, the God that is, and the God that was to come. So then you can say, I can stretch out my hand and I can hold on because I know that that hand is there. I know that my help is on the way. Hallelujah. And that's what Revelation is all about. See, Revelation, they used to tell you, if you read Revelation when I was a kid, that you was going to lose your mind because it was too deep, it was too much. So it was always scary to read it. But then when I found out in Revelation has a scripture in there that's the only scripture in the Bible that says that it'll bless you. Revelations 1:3 says, blessed is he that readeth, and they that hear the words of this prophecy, and keep those things which are written therein, for the time is at hand. So here we are, years of the enemy making us afraid to read something that was going to bless us. See, the word is there. How can we be afraid of something that God provided to us, a tool that God provided to us? How can we be confused by it? We're confused by it because we don't want to take the time to put the research in. We don't want to take the time to sit back and ask God, show me what it is that you're trying to say to me. But if we go to Revelation, it's a blessing in it. It's hope in it. My God. So look at it. the text in verse 10. It was so much. I tell you, I wanted to just go through and talk to y'all this morning about it all. And God told me to focus on just these 2 verses. In text 10, where it says, "And I heard a loud voice saying in heaven, now is come salvation and strength in the kingdom of our God in the power of his Christ. For the accuser of our brethren is cast down, which accused them before our God day and night." It's like, what is he talking about here? What is John trying to tell us? Did y'all know what was going on in heaven? The accuser, which is the dragon. When they talk about the dragon is the accuser. When they talk about the accuser in the form of a dragon, it's the serpent. And the serpent is the devil. The devil is Satan. And Satan is that deceiver. So that's what he's talking about. He's talking about that accuser that was up in heaven, raising all kinds of hell, had been cast up out of heaven, and he was sent to earth, right? So then I'm like, okay, the enemy, and I have one relative here that you couldn't even say this name. You couldn't say the devil or Satan or the deceiver. She called him that old man. Right? When Mother Halashia, what God was showing me today was that ain't no power in Satan's name. There's power in the name of Jesus. And so we're scared of what we don't know. We're scared of what we don't understand. We're scared because we know that he's caused this chaos. He's caused this hell. But we got to get to know who our enemy is, right? We got to get to know and understand his limitations. And so that in our power, because we can understand our power, but if we don't understand his limitations, we're going to always keep walking through life thinking that he can defeat us. So I'm asking, God, show me who this enemy is. Show me who this accuser is, the one that's up there making the saints of God, the Christians, point their fingers at each other and go against each other, because that's what he was doing up in heaven. He was, ooh, let me tell you about so-and-so. He was causing all kinds of chaos and confusion, making the people turn on each other, because he ain't have power over the angels turn against each other. He ain't have power over them, but he had power where he could plant seeds into their mind, and then all of a sudden they became their own worst enemy. That's right. So I'm looking up the different words for him. The dragon, breathing fire, right? That's real intimidating. That's scary. That's that visual perception that we have of the devil, of who he is. Then as a serpent, he's sneaky, crawl in the dirt. And a lot of us scared of snakes because we know that they have that venom in them and how dangerous they are. They're deadly. The devil. I looked up the name for the devil. I'm like, what does that stand for? And it's Satan's spirit. Amen. The devil, it means that it assaults one's character. I'm like, assaults one's character. The devil, he's the originator of throwing shade. The devil was the originator of throwing shade. He attacking your character. He talking to you, telling you what you not, and then he telling you what I'm not. He telling you what your brothers and sisters are. They all fake in there. They in there hooping and hollering. And I remember when, don't you remember when? You remember when they wouldn't even speak to you? So now they want to glorify God. Why you gonna go in that church? They all fake. The accuser, the shade thrower, the devil. And then his name's Satan. And that just simply means the adversary of humanity. He's God's opponent. Yeah. See, Satan, that means one who plots against another. And that's I was tripping because I was all up in my message this morning in Sunday school. Our adversary who's going to and fro, seeing who he can destroy. He throws something, the dictionary said that one who throws something across the path of another. Well, he can't take your life, but he can throw something in front of you to make you trip up. He throws stuff in front of you to make you fall. So that's who you're dealing with, right? You're dealing with somebody that looks intimidating. You're you're dealing with something that's the biggest bully in the schoolyard, right? The dragon. You're dealing with the serpent. You're dealing with somebody that's sneaky. Anybody ever have a friend that was sneaky, that was just a snake? You couldn't turn your back on as they invite you as soon as they could. You're dealing with Satan's spirit. You're not dealing with the spirit of God, but Satan's spirit. The one that assaults one's character. Every time he comes to you, he got something negative to say. He ain't got nothing good to say about nobody or no You are the apple of God's eye. There's something special to him. So the devil is special. He's jealous of you. God's opponent. The devil who likes to throw stumbling blocks along the way. He was cast out of heaven. And I like how my husband teaches about that. He tells us that he's jealous of us because we're given chance after chance. And he wasn't given another chance. He was cast out of heaven. And that was the end. That was a closed door for him. He was defeated by God's angel. This dragon, this opponent of God, this creature, this serpent, he was defeated by God's angels. He was in heaven causing all kinds of problems. He was trying to create his own kingdom. I'm like, how did you come to that conclusion? It's because the word tells us that when he was cast out, his angels were cast out with him, his spirits. So he was trying to be like God. He wanted to have his own angels, his own powers. But guess what? They all got cast up out of heaven. And I'm like, Lord, you don't cast them out of heaven, but you put them here on earth with us. Why would you do that? I'm not understanding this. I don't get it. Why would you do that? And then I'm reading verse 10. And it was like, it was needed for our salvation. It created a need. It created a need so that Jesus can be our Savior. It created a need so that the kingdom of God could be here on earth as it is in heaven. My God, remember it says, I heard a loud voice saying in heaven, now has come salvation and strength. Because he cast them out of heaven, now comes salvation and strength in the kingdom of our God, in the power of Christ. See, when Satan was cast from heaven, the power of God of Christ was released. The accuser that was raising all that hell, he caused God to move on our behalf. And it brought me to Romans 8:28, where it says, we know that all things work together for good to them that love God, to them that are called according to his purpose. And it's like, even what was going on in heaven, when he was cast out, it was for our good. Like, Lord, you mean to tell me there is a reason for this hell that I'm going through? There is a reason for this hell that I'm going through. This hell that I'm going through is so that I can be restored. This hell that Corinthians is experiencing is so that we can be restored. The hell that we went through in 2018, the hell that's going to try to rise up in 2019, it's just so that we can be restored. My God, I thank you. Thank you, Lord. So then we go to verse 11. So the enemy is cast out of heaven, and now he's on earth causing all kinds of hell, right? So how do you survive it? It's for us so I can be restored. It's for my good. It's that all things work for my good. But how am I supposed to survive this hell on earth? How am I supposed to survive these attacks? How am I supposed to survive the antics of the accuser? How am I supposed to survive the venom bites of a snake? How am I supposed to survive the attacks of somebody that's as deceitful as the enemy is? And then that's what he says, reminding me how the angels overcame up in heaven, how they overcame them. And it says it was by the blood of the Lamb. It was by the word of their testimony. And it was because they loved not their own lives unto death. And I'm like, Lord, break it down for me. Explain it to me. The blood of the Lamb. It was the Lamb of Jesus Christ that died for me. It was the blood that can make me whole again. It was the blood, the only blood that can save me. Only the blood that can restore me. It was the blood, the only blood that when his blood was shed, that power was released. My God. Satan was cast down, and he like a wolf out trying to destroy us. But Jesus came so that he could restore us. He came so that he could save us. My God, by the blood of the Lamb. And we know that's been done already, right? We know that blood has been shed for us already. We know that blood runs, it ran freely, and that blood saves and restores us. We know that we are saved by his blood, right? But what else do you need to fight and win this war up against the enemy? You need the testimony, the word of their testimony. The word of their testimony. And that's where it goes goes back to that testimony gotta include the word.
Yeah.
Don't get up here and tell me what you're going through. And you're not telling me what God brought you through. Hallelujah. Thank you, Jesus. Hallelujah. See, your testimony is what pulls down strongholds.
Yeah.
You say, how can my testimony pull down strongholds? It's because that word is the sword. Hallelujah. And that sword is your weapon. Hallelujah. See, anybody ever play the video games?
Oh.
You play the video games and you got special tools that can only fight certain types of things. Like you always got a good and a bad in the video game, right? And the whole point is so that you can get powered up, so that you can defeat a certain enemy. And that's what your word is. See, only that word is strong enough to cut through the enemy. Hallelujah. Thank you, Jesus.
Thank you, Lord.
What I liked about last week and how you can tell how effective the word is, the testimony, the word of the testimony, is that even seasoned saints was touched by the word of the testimony. I saw Deacon Brown being encouraged by the word of the testimony. See, he knows the word of God, but it was the word of the testimony of Sister Charlotte talking about her disease and how she overcame that and how she's still standing here today that encouraged him and let him know that the aches and the pains that he was dealing with that sometimes seemed like they unbearable. He said, if she can endure it, then I can endure it too. It's the word of the testimony. Set up and she talked about the financial burdens and how her breakthrough was on the way. I saw Darius kind of sit up and perk up and said, if he did it for her, I know he'll do it for me. If she believes in the power of breakthrough, I know that God is breaking through. That's how I know that the word of the testimony is powerful. So you got the blood of the Lamb. You got the word of your testimony. And then the other thing that he said that helped them to win up in heaven against the enemy was that they did not love their own lives unto death. What did that mean? That means that they love God more than they love themselves. They love God more than they love themselves. They were loyal enough to die for what they believed in. I'm like, why is Christianity so hard? You think about them. There's some other religions, they believe in their God so much that God won't even tell them to do this, but they'll get in an airplane and they'll commit suicide because they believe that they'll be rewarded for dying for their God. God ain't asking you to do that. The God I serve ain't asking you to do that. He's telling you to kill some flesh. He's telling you to turn away from things. He's telling you to say no to some things. But we don't want to die and nothing do. We want it both ways. We want God to be our Lord, our Savior, our deliverer, our healer. We want him to be our provider, but we don't want to say no to temptation. What kind of mess is that? We don't want to die to any kind of flesh. We want to keep on pleasing our flesh. And the word is simply telling us, Revelation is telling us, how do you overcome the enemy? You got to love God more than you love yourself. You got to love God enough when you're willing to deny your flesh. You got to love God that you got to love God, Mr. James, to the point that the fear of death no longer scares you. Hallelujah. That's how much you got to love God. Hallelujah. I thank God, Sister Internet, because some things were put to death last week, right? Some things were put to death last week. I know that you were probably challenged not to be here. I know that fear was in the atmosphere. People maybe didn't want to come forth. I know that ourselves got in the way sometimes. But those things, fear, self, all the obstacles that came up against them were put to death last week because they stepped out on faith. So now as we go into 2019, ready to begin the work of restoration, I'm saying that we got to be prepared for this fight, saints. We got to be prepared to make sure that we have everything that we need to win. Are y'all ready to fight for it? Are you ready to fight for your restoration? See, you've been through rehab. You've been through detoxification. You've been through everything that you had to. You have the skills, and you prove that you have the skills, and now it's time to be restored. Are you ready to use the tools and the knowledge that you have so that you can be restored? It's time to stop waiting and procrastinating. Hallelujah. It's putting myself, God, before myself, my God. It is the blood of the Lamb. It's the blood of the Lamb. The Lamb has already been slain for you. The blood is already there. You already been set free. My God. He already did something for you on that level. So you already got a testimony. All you got to do is make more fresh. Hallelujah. My God, I just need everybody to stand up on your feet. Got the tools. You got the tools. The lamb has been slain. The blood is there. The lamb has been slain. The blood has been shed. Your Savior has come. Yeah, he knows what you're fighting with. He knows what you're dealing with. He knows what you're struggling with. But are